This is Mahesh Ravi. So we're going to take a look at how to create a design system from scratch. So this will be the first part of the three-part series video. So in this video, we're going to take a look at how to actually get started with your design system. And then we will talk about how to work on each of the components in your design system and how to actually make it accessible to other designers who can actually take that design system and continue working with it. So let's get into the beginning. A design system is a collection of reusable components, a style guide, and some practices that you want other designers to follow for a particular brand when they are working with a particular brand. So it is very important that you define the rules of how your elements needs to be used across the brand. When you hear about design system, there is another term that you might have heard. It is called atomic design. So what exactly is atomic design and how is it connected to a design system? So atomic design is an approach which is designed by Brad Frost. So what he says is that you should start working on the lowest component first and slowly build your entire design from that. So you basically start with something called atoms, which could be your typeface, your colors, your shapes. Then you try to combine them into molecules. So if you combine your typeface with a color, that becomes a molecule. Then you take that and create an organism with it. So you combine your typography, a color, and a shape, it becomes a button. That's a living and functional organism. And then you take it and assemble this in a template and finally make it into a page. That's how atomic design works. And that is the basic principle of making a design system. You are giving the atoms to other designers to basically work on design solutions. The problem here is that this is not applicable to everybody, but when you're starting with design or when you're a beginner in graphic design, there could be this problem where you will not understand, or it will be difficult for you to understand how to basically select a typeface and a color, and how will you assume that this will work together later, right? So rather than working from the lowest atom, it will be easy for a beginner to work from the final design and break it down into a design system. So the best thing to do here is to create something called a stylescape. You start with a stylescape, then you sort of break it down into a design system. So we are going to take a look at this. We will actually use XD to create this. So let's move into XD and click on a web template. So we are in XD and we started with a web template here. So what we are going to do here is, before we create a design system, we are creating a stylescape. A stylescape is basically it can be any kind of a deliverable which basically has all your elements working together there, right? So you can create a home page of a website, you can create a poster, you can create a social media ad, whatever you want. You just create your work without thinking about the individual components first. Once you design the product, you can now look at the individual components, separate them, and create a rule based on that. So this is a really easy workflow, and let's get into it. So we will create a stylescape here. So I'll create something which is like a homepage of a website, or maybe a landing page, something like that. So we have the document here. We'll start building our component. We are not thinking about what typeface to use and all that right now. We'll go with the flow, and that's the best way to start working on it. So I will create a shape here. Okay. So let's bring in an image. I have some images here. So we have this picture sitting right here. We can also crop it if you want, but this actually works pretty nicely here. So I think this is fine. So it sits there. I have my basic image here. I'm going to take two more shapes. Let's fill it with some colors. So I'm going to use the colors which are basically used in here. So I'm going to pick that. So we have this right now. And let's take a typeface, and I will just write some title here. So I'm going to say 601. Scale it up. So we have this text here. Now, based on the design that we have, right, we can now change these elements. So I'm just going to go in. I will see what actually works here. So I have basic text interface created here, the text design, which actually sits right here. So again, once everything falls together, you can keep seeing that if some element is not working, you always can go back and change it, right? Okay. So we have these 3 typefaces here. I'm going to add more info into the other pages. So I'm going to take this. So here we have done our stylescape. So this doesn't have a purpose. It doesn't, it doesn't mean that when you're creating a stylescape, it should be functional or anything like that. You're basically creating the look and feel of a product first without thinking about the parts or the individual components that makes up the design. So once you have this, then it is really easy to actually separate your components. So for example, if I'm going to just create an artboard here, you can take the components here. So you will know that your typeface is Croc. So let me just duplicate this and bring it right over here. And you will easily know that your typeface is this. So you started with Ultra and you have used the Croc as one typeface, and you have used something called Venue in your design. So these are the 3 typefaces that you have used in your design. So you already have an idea what are the typefaces that you have to define in your design system, and you are sure that it works together because you already started with that, right? You already started with the solution and then you broke it down into the individual components. So now that you know how to get started, we will catch up once again in the next video, and we'll talk about how to build a design system from this work, right? So I'll see you with another video soon. Till then, bye.